Here are solutions to homework set number 1 for ECE 111. This homework set is an introduction to Matlab. Now problem 1 asks, what are two solutions to the following two equations? Y is x plus 1 over x and y equals 5. Well, we haven't covered that yet. If you ever get stuck in this class and want to know where to go or how to proceed, a good place to go is go to Bison Academy. If you go under 111 and then homework sets and solutions, here are the homework set and solutions to previous semesters. For example, in Fall 25, homework set number 2, this goes through the problem. Let's see, where's problem 2? Here's homework set number 2 for spring 2025, and here's the problem. The problems change every semester. However, the procedure is similar semester by semester. The Matlab commands you need are similar. For example, to find the solution here, I can use the following Matlab commands and plot it. The intersection between this curve and 5 is where x plus 1 over x equals 5. Two solutions. And scrolling down, there's one solution, there's the other one. So, again, if you ever get stuck, go to Bison Academy and look at the old homework sets and solutions. That'll give you a good starting point. Problem 2 is find the roots to a polynomial. In Matlab is a matrix language. To represent a polynomial, you use a matrix. So the matrix 1, 13, 50, 56 represents this polynomial. The Matlab command roots will find the roots to that polynomial when this function equals 0. If I have a fourth order polynomial and put that as a matrix being the coefficients, find the roots. Here's the roots, or the zero crossings to that polynomial. In a fifth order polynomial, there's the roots. What the roots are is if you sketch the polynomial, like the fifth one, fifth order polynomial looks like this. There are 5 solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's the zero crossings, the roots. Matlab works as a graphing calculator. For example, if I have the following temperature versus resistance relationship, I can use it as a calculator. Given T, find R. The way you do that in Matlab, I can just say T is 5. And then the way you type it in Matlab is almost the way you write it, with EXP meaning e to the x. So at 5 degrees Celsius, I'm at 5,253 ohms, and the voltage is 7.24 volts. At minus 20 Celsius, change T, redo the R, and there's an arrow up, down command. Arrow up brings up the old commands, saves some typing. Plug in T into this equation, I get 21 kilo ohms. Plug it in the second equation, 9.15 volts. And kind of a comment, it never hurts to use extra parentheses. The parentheses makes it clear what do you do first. So this way I add the 2000 to R and then divide R by that. Take out the parentheses and I get a different problem. It's going to go left to right. R divided by R is 1 plus 2000. Problem 4 is using Matlab as a graphing calculator. I can solve this problem given temperature. Find the temperature when the resistance is 20K or 5K. To do that, I'm going to plot. As temperature goes from minus 30 to plus 30, what's R? So to do that, in Matlab's matrix language, I can do a bunch of calculations all at once. For example, if I say temperature goes from minus 30 to plus 30, steps up 10, here's temperature. But then find the resistance using the dot notation. This finds the resistance at each point. What the dot notation does, this guy right here, I guess that's it. That tells Matlab, don't treat that like a matrix operation. Treat these as individual operations, basically a big string of numbers. So there's the resistance at each temperature, then the voltage divider. I use the dot notation again to tell it to do element by element division, not matrix division. That finds the voltage at each point. So if I plot that, it's going to be kind of crude. There aren't that many points. So if I repeat, go from minus 30 to plus 30, steps of 0.01, that gives me 6,000 points, more than I really need. The semicolon says don't print out the results. I don't want to have 6,000 points on my graph, on my paper. It's going to kind of mess up the display. Calculate the resistance at all 6,000 points, and then plot it. What you get is a nice smooth curve, 6,000 points in that curve. What the graph does is, given temperature, I can tell you resistance, or in this case, given resistance, find temperature. At 20 kiloohms, right here, here's the temperature, about minus 18, at 5 kiloohms, right here. I'm about plus 6, plus 3, somewhere in there. And I can do the same thing for voltage. Given temperature, find resistance. Given resistance, find voltage. Then plot temperature versus voltage. And here's what the curve looks like. Now what I can do here is, given the temperature, find the voltage, or going the other way around, given the voltage, find the temperature. So it's 8 volts, and here's 6 volts. Moving on to problem number 6. In problem 6, this is looking at for loops. In Matlab, you can do the same operation over and over again. That's a for loop. For example, suppose I've got two people playing a game. A rolls 3 20-sided dice, B rolls 5 10-sided dice. Whoever has the highest score wins. A wins on ties. What's the chance A is going to win? Well, there's a thing called a Monte Carlo simulation. There the idea is play the game one time. If we can play it one time, play 100,000 times. And the odds of A winning is roughly the number of times A won in 100,000 games. So start out with playing a single game. Here I want to roll 3 20-sided dice. That's what this code does. I generate 3 random numbers times 20, rounded up, and I get 3 numbers between 1 and 20. Here's the sum of those numbers. Roll player B. This is 5 random numbers between 0 and 10, rounded up, gives you numbers between 1 and 10. Here's the sum. So that's A rolled the dice one time, B rolled the dice one time. In Matlab, I can put that in the script window and play the game 100,000 times. That's your for loop. So here A rolls the dice, B rolls the dice. Whoever has the highest score wins. A wins on ties. That's one game. Now repeat 100,000 times. When I do that, the odds of A winning is roughly the number of times A won divided by 100,000. So when I run this, I get a different answer every time. It's random, but it's always right around 64.2, 64.3%. So that tells you roughly what the odds are. A's got roughly a 64.3% chance of winning. That's the power of a Monte Carlo simulation. You could calculate the odds. You'll do that in a later course. That's actually fairly hard to do. With Matlab, I can come up with a numerical solution and tell you roughly what the odds are by playing the game 100,000 times. It's numerically expensive, but with Matlab I don't care. It takes about 2 seconds to run the code. Let's change the problem. Instead of playing a single game, let's do the best of 3 game series. Now what's the chance that A is going to win? That's a for loop within a side of for loop. So here's a single game, just like we had before. Put that in a for loop. I'm going to play 3 games. I'll then see how many times A won a given game. If A won more than B, A won. If otherwise, B won. So in a best of 3 match, instead of winning 64% of the time, A is now winning 70% of the time. That's best of 3. If instead of playing a fixed number of games, I play until an event happens, that's a while loop. For example, if I keep on playing until somebody's up 3 games, that's a while loop. So I take the previous for loop, replace it with a while statement. It says, keep playing until somebody is up by 3 games. So I start at 0, 0. I keep going until somebody's up by 3 games, and then when I'm done, I check. If A is up, A won, tie, which never happens, and if A is less than B, that's a loss. Once I can play one time, repeat 100,000 times. So when I do that, A wins 83% of the time. It's roughly the odds of A winning. If I change the format so that now A has to be up by 4 games, all I do is change this one line of code. And now A wins about 89% of the time. So that's homework set number 1 for ECE 111. It's kind of introduction to Matlab. Matlab is basically just a calculator, but it's a programmable calculator. And with those programs, you can write some fairly simple programs and find out things like the sum of die rolls, probability of one player winning in different formats, as well as some graphs. That's homework set number 1 for ECE 111.